Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video I will be making a cookie dough and Dunkaroo inspired birthday cake. First I'm starting off with measuring out the wet ingredients. I have some milk and then some sour cream and mixed it together. I then went ahead and added the eggs and combined this together. I combined the dry ingredients and instead of sifting the ingredients, I used a whisk to remove any of the clumps that I saw. I started creaming the butter and the sugar until it was light and fluffy. The next step in the recipe called to add the dry ingredients as well as a third of the wet ingredients, which I thought was interesting, and I would probably skip this step in the future. The recipe called for mixing this together for about 4 minutes, and after it was done mixing, it was a pretty pasty consistency. I then went ahead and added the rest of the wet ingredients and mixed for about another 4 minutes. One of the reasons I don't think I would do this in the future is because I think the cake had a gummy-like texture, and even though it was cake flour, I think it just was still overmixed 4 minutes. Plus an extra 4 was just way too much in my opinion. For the cookie dough portion of the cake, I heat treated some flour, and so I measured up some bread flour and put it in the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes until it reached 165 degrees Fahrenheit. While the flour is in the oven, I browned some butter. The butter gives the cookies a more nutty flavor, and the Alton Brown chewy recipe called for doing this, so I decided to follow it, and I thought that was a good step to take. I went on and continued making the cookie dough recipe once the flour and butter have cooled. Instead of adding whole eggs, I added only egg yolks, and I think because of this, it lacked moisture. Next time I'll go ahead and add the whole egg instead of just egg yolks. So here I'm actually assembling the second layer of my cake. It's the cookie dough layer, and it has the base of a vanilla buttercream. Because the cookie dough was a little bit dry and crumbly, I drizzled on some of the milk soak that I used for the sponge layers. For the third layer, I added some of the milk soak, and I made this was a Dunkaroo version, so I made a layer of rainbow chip frosting. I bought the Betty Crocker brand and mixed it together with the homemade vanilla buttercream just to kind of mellow out the sweetness a little bit. And I layered this with the Dunkaroo cookies and more of the frosting. After chilling and crumb coating the cake, I decided I wanted to go for an ombre sort of effect. I didn't really have much of a plan going into this birthday cake. I kind of just wanted to be creative with it and not be stuck to any strict design. I was also kind of trying to do like a doodle inspired cake with some of my favorite colors. So when I began to decorate my cake, I really didn't go in with much of a plan. I had an idea of what colors I wanted to use, and then I became inspired to kind of start making some sort of like starry sky. I wasn't really happy with the shape that it was turning out to be, so I decided to incorporate some of the things that I had already drawn on with buttercream into the colors of the sky. And then I piped on some stars that I then fixed with a toothpick to make them look a little bit more star-like. In the future, I would definitely recommend using a piping tip instead of just a piping bag. So even though my cake didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it, it was still really yummy, and I learned a lot from making it. I hope this video inspires you to bake something, and once again, thank you for watching my video. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks once again. Goodbye.